Hey YouTube, Sluxing here. We're going to be doing a coaching session for a buddy on my stream here. If anybody you guys want to join coaching, head over to the stream. I try to stream more often right now. Obviously, schedule nonsense, not always on. But let's go ahead and get into this. So you said so what champs do you enjoy most in support? We'll put it that way first, because that makes it easier to start off.
Bird, Sona, and Annie, I guess. I don't have Karma, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, give it the top three. Between those four, what's the top three? Bard, Sona, Annie, or Karma switching with one of those?
Karma and switching with Annie, pretty much.
Okay. Oh yeah, you can't. Can you see my screen? No, you can't. Hold up.
Yeah,
there you go.
I can.
I'll do it so you can see it live. There you go. Okay. So, Bard, Sona, Annie. The thing that these all have in common, they're all kind of like AP bursty. Personally, I think just for playstyle wise, Bard is very different than the other two, because you can play Annie, Sona, and Karma pretty similarly. Also, Bard is a higher skill cap, so from my opinion, I would say based on what you play, I would say pick these three and just drop Bard until you get to like Gold or Plat. When you can
I'm good with Bard.
Yeah, it's not saying that you can't be good with him. It's saying that because of, let's put it this way, his ult is going to mess with your teammates. Have you ever heard the Pantheon, like the reason Pantheon is so good in low elo? A streamer I like, Nice. He used to play League. He kind of just getting back into it because he went to Fortnite for a while. He said the reason Pantheon is so good at low elo is because he has the most clear-cut go button in the whole game. You press your ult, and they see that big fucking circle, right? So they know, oh shit, we go in, right?
I mean, Bard has the same kind of thing.
The issue is Bard's circle, if not used properly, can be more of a hindrance than a help. Like, it's hard to Pantheon ult wrong. You just click it behind them. You can Bard ult and screw up your whole team.
I know. I play Bard enough to know that if you ulti your team, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
But I know if you ulti like 4 of the 5 people, you're probably going to win the team fight.
Yeah, but the issue becomes you learning to... the reason Bard isn't good in low elo is because your team won't know how to work around your ult the same way they could with an Annie ult or a Sona ult, right? Because if you see your Annie flash Tibbers like a team fight, you're like, oh, let's go in. You see your Bard ult the team fight, bronze players are sitting there like, well, do I go in? Do I wait? Do I step into the circle? Bronze players don't get that as much. Iron players don't get that as much. It's not as clear cut how you're supposed to approach the team fight. Even if you land a good ult, it's not as clear for your teammates, which
and they might just fuck it up.
Yeah. So you can imagine how many times have you gotten a good Bard ult and your team fucked it up because they don't know what to do with it,
Yeah, that's true.
And that's a reason I would say, yeah, for now, stick with these three. Yeah. Limiting champ pool is really important. It just helps give you specialization. And the main reason I also say Bard is different compared to these three are all a little bit more burst damage. Bard's a little bit more like Kite, and like, he doesn't have a lot of upfront damage. It's just Q and his auto attacks. He doesn't have other damage abilities. He doesn't have other like things he does. He's more utility based compared to these three are damage based in a lot of ways. Sona's kind of between damage and healer, but she has a good amount of upfront damage. If you get Lich Bane or if you get like something like that, you get a little bit of AP.
I don't usually get Lich Bane.
That's something to think about. I've also seen a lot of Sonas. I have a friend who plays Iceborne Gauntlet Sona support, because the slow is really annoying. Yeah, but Sona is actually the hardest of these three. So I would say, like in order of what you should play, I would say play Annie most, obviously. If you've ever seen LS, Annie is broken. She's just too straightforward, too simple for your team to understand what to do. And it's like...
I played a lot of Annie like 2 seasons ago, and it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way after a while.
Yeah.
I'd ulti, they wouldn't do anything, and then...
Yeah. So...
Yeah.
I can get that. Do you have go to your match history and just look at this. Look at your match history for a second. I need you to pick out like a game or two, so you need like a VOD review.
Sure. You could also you could just go to my profile in League and then.
Yeah. Alternatively, we could do the live game and then a VOD review of the live game after. That's another option.
Yeah.
Or you could just pick.
No, I mean it's like you can search me up in like Summoner search. Then you can go to my match history and download the
Summoner
things.
Search? But you can.
Yeah, like profile. You go to your profile. You go to match history. You can search me up.
Wait, I can download your games? I didn't even know.
Yeah,
that. That's funny. Hold up.
That's been a feature for like a
Nobody told
year
me
now.
Let me see. Can I actually do that? Hey, that's pretty funny. Okay, I didn't know that actually. That's cool. Okay, like
that's my game that I lost.
Okay. So the main thing I ask when I like look at a game, what's the game you felt like you did well in, and it's not like there was like hard feeding or anything crazy. Like it was pretty close game, but you're not sure what you could have done to improve it. Those are the best games to look at, because if it's just a complete stomp, there's too many things to look at, and if it's just if it's pretty even though, and you're not sure how you lost it, it's easier to pick things out to show. So obviously it'd probably be a defeat. Last game, did you feel like that was kind of close, or did it get stompy?
I think I made a lot of mistakes in that game. Okay. But then there was also like points where it just felt bad overall.
Okay, well let's look. We can look at the game. It's fresh,
so look at that game.
It'll probably be useful. First thing I'm gonna say, let's check your runes. This is something really important to get down. I'm gonna pull up Lolalytics because this is the best place to get stuff.
I was messing around.
I'm getting a bunch of messages. I mean, the simple thing about iron to gold, carry yourself, pick Zyra. Yeah, but the thing about it is first off, pick up like Mushio. The reason I would say not to do that is just you want to pick something that you both enjoy and something that can scale long term. Sure, if you enjoy Zyra, I have a friend who got to Diamond playing nothing but Zyra. It's just if you don't enjoy Zyra, don't play it. Anyway, but this is a good site to use. Lolalytics. It has a lot of the best stats, and it's like written out the most, detailed. So you look at I don't use these because these are like stat picked, but I look at like this kind of stuff. So obviously looks like the best one overall with the highest percent and highest win rate. It's tied with Klepto, but Klepto has a 4% pick chance. So that's not like a large sample size. So yeah, Airy is good. And then here, Mana Flaband has a huge pick chance, so it's good. It's higher than this, and it's lower than this, but this is less than 1%, so it doesn't really matter. So Mana Flow is good. There's actually an argument for both Celerity and Transcendence. I would agree with you going Transcendence, especially if the Celerity nerfs. This Gathering Storm, I can see it. How aggressive are you in lane? That's the question. Because if you're really aggressive, go Scorch. Gathering Storm is if you want to like play out the lane safe. Go Scorch if you're aggressive in lane though, because it'll proc quite a bit, and you'll just be able to continue to burn them down. Especially if you have Airy. I've seen times where you get an extra Airy proc because of Scorch. Because if the Airy just got back to you and the last tick of Scorch hits, it'll actually proc Airy again. So that's really another thing to think about. And then secondary, you took Inspiration. That makes sense. I've
been testing out get perfect timing for a bit. Just for the last couple of the games, usually use magical footwear instead.
I could see perfect timing of magical footwear personally, just because of how I've used sustain. Biscuits and Time Warp Tonic is really good together, but if you wouldn't take Time Warp Tonic unless you take Biscuits. But they're really good synergistically because Time Warp Tonic makes Biscuits better, and on top of getting Biscuits better, your potions become stronger with Time Warp. So
I think Cosmic just feels strong overall.
Hamadi BH, thank you for following. Welcome to the Illuminati. Glad you could join the family. Sorry about that. Which one were you saying? Cosmic? Yeah, that extra 5%. The extra 5% I can see. A lot of your spells
5% CBR as well. So
The issue is because you're not quite a Riven, so the difference between 40 and 45%, it's not like you're constantly spamming spells the same way, and also because you're mana gated so heavily, it actually can be a detriment. Unlike Riven, where you kind of that little like short amount of bonus you get can make a big difference, where Sona already has super low cooldowns, and spamming it an extra like half a second more oftentimes won't be the difference, if you get what I mean.
It can be though, like
it can, but the amount of time comparatively to where you could get out of lane a lot healthier compared to that extra half second on cooldowns. Like, think that's the argument there.
So I also like say the item CDR is also pretty prevalent.
This is true.
It can really help.
You get a lot of CDR as a support, and this is why you take Transcendence, because you'll overcap, which is, again, that's not bad. I'm just pointing out Time War Tonic. If you take Time War Tonic, you gotta take Biscuits. Otherwise, yeah, this and either of those would work. Perfect timing. My only issue is with it, it kind of forces you to want to buy Zhonya's, which isn't really a Sona item very often. Like, there's instances where buying Zhonya's is good because you can flash ult like a team fight, and then Zhonya's after. But most of the time, boots are just safer, and that extra move speed, especially if you get Swifties or Mobies, just allows you to be more mobile, just help out your AD carry more. So this is overall a pretty decent page. The only thing I changed is Gathering Storm to Scorch, and perfect timing. I guess you're still experimenting. If you really like Zhonya's and you use it a lot, it makes sense. But
I've been feeling that it actually is just a detriment, because as soon as you use it, usually in bot lane, they'll usually kill you afterwards.
Yeah,
and
but also you can't use it for the
you.
first 10 minutes anyway. Yeah. So
it's like, but also the flip side of that would be it's 600 gold instead of 300 gold for the boots. So it's like either you get a 300 gold lead or a 600. So it's like just thinking of that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna pull up Epic Pen so I can get there we go. You've probably seen this before if you've watched other people do this kind of stuff. Anyway, we'll go ahead and start the replay. I'll write any notes I got for you, specific stuff here. Right now it's just kind of going over an overview. So I really like this new loading screen, and it is kind of a bit slower, but I always do this. I look over and I go, okay, this guy has 1,000,000 points. You know, I just look to see if anybody has over 100.
This is also. I'm just trying to remember if this was the game where I think that was the last game. There was a game where I was trying to figure out where my ward button was, like the ward ping, and I didn't have it. No, it wasn't. No, maybe? No, it isn't. No, it is.
Yeah, you actually got to go to it's hotkeys communication, and there's like a ping vision.
Like, I didn't realize where I was on the thing, and I didn't have it at all put on.
I've been meaning to keybind mine to something useful. I actually haven't figured out what I want to put it on. I use, like, one of the weird keybinds I have is I use attack move click on my thumb mouse button.
Nice. No, I use thumb mouse button for my ward.
You use middle mouse button for your
ward. Yeah.
Somebody has.
Oh, sorry, not middle mouse.
No, someone in chat was like middle mouse button. Yeah, I use like my items are 1 through 5, and then A is the 6th item, and then T is my trinket. And that's just something because I started before they had trinkets, so it's kind of something I did. So we're gonna pull this up. Can I keep the scoreboard open? Okay, I can. So yeah, that's good. So we'll watch you, and I'm going to switch it so we don't have fog. Red team, so I can see what you see. Oh, what? Okay, there we go. Okay, first off, you want to go protect either here or there. So I'm going to pause this. This way.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to stand here or there. Yeah, you want to go immediately.
Yeah, I know. You want to either stand in the bush that's just like above jungle or below jungle where the 2 gaps are. I already knew that, but I didn't know if he was, like, the Nunu was AFK for the first bit, so I thought maybe we were going to remake the match.
Even then, just play it safe, because if they invade the jungle, if Nunu does connect, it's better to stand here and then just leave if they do try to invade.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I
typically
think this is the game that I died early. I died in the bush down straight below because I was remapping keybinds.
Okay. Yeah, that's a mistake that happens. Making sure that's being set up. That's being prepared. Just making sure you're ready before you start the game. Okay, that was good reactions. Stepping out of the bush. Obviously, dude didn't do shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So of course we'll just wait for a second. I'm gonna speed it up. Wait for something to happen.
Actually, no, I didn't die. That was the previous match.
Okay.
Because I would have been down the bottom thing by now, I think. Yeah, it's not this match.
So we're just gonna watch. Also, something to do. I tell everyone this. You should read. By default, the F1, 2, 3, 4, 5, F1 through 5 is going to be you and your team.
Yeah.
But F1 is yourself. Rebind, so allies 1, 2, 3, 4 are F1, 2, 3, 4. And like whenever you have a second, you're walking to lane, just press each one for just a second. Because you know how you can press spacebar to lock camera back on yourself?
Yeah.
It'll allow you to do something kind of like this with your team, which will be...
I think I actually have that down to F, though.
No, the F key is F1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then spacebar is typically what self-center camera. Obviously, your Sona's, your Sivir is kind of AFK here. Okay. So we're going to go back, because... Wait for it to load. I like looking at things from this perspective. Obviously, your Sivir isn't farming. She should be. But we're going to look at this from...
she's not.
Have you ever heard of, like, circle of influence, like sphere of influence kind of thing? In terms of like league. Do you know what that is? Have you heard that concept? Like the circle of influence?
I think so.
Okay, so every character has a circle of influence. This is most prevalent in bot lane. This is like your range at which you can do something. For Sona, it's it's bigger than that. I mean, so you're in her range right now, right? So you got this circle around you, like your auto attack range, essentially, or your ability range. For Sona, the one you really want to keep track of is your heal range, which is just inside that. It'd be like right about here compared to your auto attack range. And the reason this is so important is you never want to let your AD carry step out of that range. And the reason is if your AD carry is outside of that range, you can't help them.
Yep.
So that's like a very simple concept, and we'll see. Obviously, I don't think you really did. You step forward here, but that's because your Sivir's AFK. It's just something to keep in mind here.
Also, my VC seemed to just go AFK for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, Sivir comes back. Takes a lot of free damage, but you guys win that trade, technically. Because the damage was split between you two while the damage went on their AD carry. Which makes it easier to shove him out of lane. Nunu's going AFK. That's just low elo in a nutshell. People just don't have good internet. I don't know what's that. But we'll watch. So for here... So obviously you don't have a ward, so standing up here is actually good. Because standing up here...
I was trying to poke him, but he wouldn't come close.
Yeah. Here's the question. Where's the enemy jungler right now?
This guy who's going up top because his thing was bottom, so he's in his blue.
Okay,
camp.
So here's the thing. We know, right? You know that the enemy bot lane leashed, right? And this is where every role knowing jungle is kind of important. You know that your jungle, their jungle leash, which means he started red. Okay, you can see Jarvan here, meaning we know he isn't taking Scuttle. Okay, so either he had two options. He comes down to Krugs, or he goes up towards his blue. Right? Considering Scuttle's up, it would be safe to assume he's probably still in his bot side jungle. Because it's 2 minutes 30 seconds. You can look at where's Jarvan's CS here. Jarvan has.
Also, I should have seen that ward.
Yeah, you can see the enemy Jarvan right here. He's on the ward. This is, so you can see like, he's literally standing here taking Scuttle. So you standing up here, it would be good if you didn't have vision, because then you have an advanced warning if he's coming down. But you can see him up here. You know he's right there. You have another ward here, so you can see him taking Scuttle. Your jungler is way over here. I don't know why he's over here, but okay, so Jarvan's here, so you're not in an immediate threat of a gank. You can step forward into this bush, you could step back here to try to threaten the Brand or the Jhin instead of trying to cover River when you know where he's at. If you don't know where he's at and you don't have a ward, it makes sense. But if you can't cover, like see right now, that's Sphere of oh whoa. Okay, back. I hate the what's it called, keybinds for this thing. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna watch right here. So you see Brand step forward and he throws the ability. What do? Okay, heal. That's not bad. But right here,
yeah, but
this is where you.
I don't think I can get up close enough to actually hit him at that point.
No, okay.
Like I'd hit him afterwards, but
I'll show you what this is. What the issue was with this fight. So Brand wastes his ability coming into this fight, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as you see, I have it slowed down so I can explain. But where's it happen? Where's it happen? Here, you see Brand throw this out. Healing is the right option. Now, you have more health than she does, and she is about to take some damage. Obviously, the shield's going to help. Your immediate thing you should do here, though, is you ping this Jhin, and you walk right here. And you ping this Jhin. You tell Sivir to attack this Jhin, you just walk right there. Brand just wasted his core ability. He's level 2. That means he can't stun you. He can only try to stun Sivir, because he only has, well, that pillar, and the stun one, or the like conflagration or whatever it's called, right? Where he either like blows you up again or he tries to stun you. But you don't have the burn effect on you. You don't have blaze on you. So he can't stun you right now. Right? He only has level 2. So you just immediately just bum rush the Jhin. If he burns that ability and you know Sivir is going to be okay, she's going to be at higher health, you would go in on Jhin right there. Now we'll see what you do. I'm still on pen.
I know.
So you obviously shield, but then what you do here is you like back up. You like stand here and then you walk away. You start going for him, and turning on Brand isn't bad if Jhin goes that far back, but cutting off the Jhin, always focus the AD carry, especially because Brand is a caster and just used his main ability. He can't do any damage if he's already used his abilities. Blocking the Jhin from your AD carry is going to keep her at higher health. See, right here, he just gets to threaten Sivir. That's why. Sivir used her spell shield, there's nothing to protect her. And right now, you're out of range. You're out of your zone of influence. Which is why you went from here to there instead of here to there. Right?
Right.
So that's kind of that's this fight in a nutshell. That would have actually gone the other direction. You probably could have either killed Jhin or...
I think he actually dies.
Yeah. The thing is, you could have threatened summoners.
Kills him.
Yeah, if Sivir makes a good play off of this, that's fine. But... what was Brand gonna do? He just used his other ability, and actually he didn't even take the stun.
Nothing.
Okay, so that's 2 flashes.
Or was it?
So we'll see.
I think someone died.
No. Yeah. So that was a 1 trade, but it would have been a kill. Yeah. That was a 1 trade, but it would have been a kill, and that's just to keep something going.
Actually, like yeah. I remember like an early kill, so I don't remember.
Yeah.
They keep on getting poked out now.
Yeah. The thing to keep in mind is mistakes aren't necessarily always doing something wrong. It's sometimes just not doing the most optimal play.
Yeah.
Sometimes a mistake isn't doing something bad, it's not doing something good. And that's the kind of what I'm pointing out here. Just optimizing, because of course shoving them out of lane isn't bad. But you can't control how this AD carry is going to shove lane. So when you can get kills... you know, or when you can like shove them out of lane, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to keep her alive. You're trying to make sure they can't do much. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was decent. That was decent. What's your
Oh, here he dies. I think. No, he didn't get flashed.
Yeah. Okay. So you already burned Ignite earlier.
Yeah.
That was him being stupid. He wasted flash, and now he can't get away. That makes sense. So of course,
he dies.
Yeah. The only thing I could have said from here is with how low Jhin is, as soon as you see Brand waste that ability, right? that's early in this game. That ability is 10+ second cooldown, right? You see Brand waste that ability, you just step right up here. Because if Jin walks forward, you kill him. If Brand walks forward, he has one ability and it's not his stun. Right? How do they beat that in a trade? Sivir's going to try to farm, but if she sees you walk in, she'll threaten it. That stops them from CSing, and that allows you to fight them. If they try to come up for CS, if they try to come to fight, you just kill them. Right? And again, if you had stepped, if you had stepped here, whoa, a directed map. If you had stepped forward instead of down, you would have killed him there without having to burn Sivir's flash and all that. Or, he would have burned flash and still died or something, So, it is what it is. It's not bad. It's just not.
No, he still burned flash and still died.
Yeah. So it's not bad. You're still winning that, but it's just obviously not a lot of optimal. So I'm gonna speed up because of course a lot of it's gonna be the same exact stuff. You watch him burn abilities. That was going aggressive. Yeah. Backing here. Okay, yeah, threaten it. You should be pinging her to back right now. You should be telling her in chat, just be...
I did tell her in chat to back, and then...
Okay, well, if she doesn't, that's not your fault. But I would say, just ping her back, tell her to recall or whatever. At least she spell shielded that. She would have died. Okay. She's probably...
Well, Sivir was pretty good at spell shielding everything he did.
Well, I hope a Sivir would be good at spell shielding. That's an important Sivir mechanic. Anyway. Okay. Hold up. What just happened there? Okay, so I see you walk back to lane.
I did something stupid. Yeah. I ran too much far forwards, I think.
Yeah. This is... You just walk straight into the bush, yeah. So the question becomes, the vision here wasn't really necessary yet. Because the minion waves are going to meet right there. Right? Their wave is still pushing, your wave is still coming. It's going to meet right there. So you just walked up toward a bush you didn't even need vision of yet. Which is, one, wasting the ward. Two, if he's standing there, you're going to take damage. Right?
Yeah.
Which you did. And obviously that's an issue because that shoves you out of lane. Now you're in a threat. Now you have to back up. You have to burn flash. So that's bad. And now Sivir's losing because she had to try to cover that trade. So right here, as much as it sucks, you kind of have to recall again. They're going to get a 1 plate. Yeah. But if you try to stay, they can just threaten you. Especially because they have Brand and Jin. They're just going to threaten poke. So you kind of got to recall. It sucks. Because, good. You recall.
I think we back here.
I sure hope so. I'm guessing Sivir doesn't. Yeah, okay. Sivir's gonna die. Oh, okay. Spell shield is... That's not bad. Should at least spell shield.
Oh, she spell shields this now.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Well, so we watched her spell shield that. That's not too bad. Could have, of course, been worse. So we'll watch it. We'll speed it back up as we go back to lane. I push a lot of stuff on laning phase because laning phase is
important.
It's mostly theoretical, but especially in low elo, if you lose lane really hard, it demoralizes the team to the point where people just try to FF. No matter how good you are at late game, if you lose laning phase, someone's gonna say GG, game's over. I don't know why it keeps trying to move the camera. Stab it. Yeah, I had to turn on manual camera. That's my bad. I'm not. I don't like this tool thing, honestly. It's not the best replay tool. I mean, it works. It's just I don't like it.
I wish they redid the UI on that.
Yeah. Okay. So right here, I'm gonna go back for a second.
Nunu's coming to lane.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that this guy pings because, in real time, you're standing here. So you can see him coming down. As soon as he's right about here, you should know. Now the one thing I saw is you kind of walked into trade, and you're gonna take damage right here. You should. That's not a bad health, but when you step forward right here, that's what makes this a difficult trade to take. You should have stayed closer to the AD carry and waited for Nunu because that just kind of gave off that aggression. Yes, he should be able to hit the snowball. Okay, that was
there was a warden as well in that bush.
Yeah, that was a bad gank. but you gave off aggression a little bit soon. They backed up because you just kind of stepped forward randomly. But you also took a lot of damage in that trade, so you couldn't keep it going. Sivers taking damage. Okay. Tool watch. Mana is something I see you having a problem with.
Yep.
You've been out of mana quite quickly, constantly. And yeah, Sona is mana heavy, but like you're out of mana. Okay, okay, right here. That was all Sivir. You stepped up to ward, and she just 2v1 that trade. Okay, right here. Clearing that control ward is not as important as helping your AD carry. Honestly. Like, it's not bad to clear a control ward, but when they're going in on her like this, you should have stepped down as soon as Jhin stepped forward. You have Ignite. You would have actually won that. So look, so Nunu leaves, right? We're going to speed it up a second. Okay. Okay, right here. Okay, so you start walking up to ward. You know, that makes sense. Nunu just left. You don't know where their jungler's at right now. Right? But what is Sivir doing? Sivir's pushing up here. Warding isn't bad, but you see, as soon as you see this Jhin start walking forward, there.
Yeah.
That's right there is when you needed to jump back in. You needed to leave that ward. That ward is not as important as this. You can come back to the ward.
Brand wastes his Q.
Yeah, no, Brand misses the pillar, but as soon as that happened, that's a window. If you had started walking up now, especially now, you see this, if Jhin hits the stun, he's gonna go all in. He thinks, oh, it's a kill. He gets that root, he's going in. If you had been walking up here, you could have Q empowered the Sivir and ignited Jhin. Instead, she gets the kill. She wins the trade, but you don't really get much from it. You know, I hope she gets the kill here, but you know,
I don't remember if she does or not.
Yeah.
But other than I E her back towards him.
Yeah. So that could have that was just, you know. I do this too as a jungler where I'll tunnel a camp. You know, I want to finish the camp before I move up to, you know, gank or something. And, you know, sometimes efficiency is, you know, really important. And people don't think
about it. Did she kill him here?
No. She just died to Karthus ult, yeah. And you're pretty low. You're dead. Yeah. Okay, that was unlucky. Jarvan came to clean that up. Honestly,
I think I actually died because I didn't dodge it.
The best play there would have been to just kill Jhin and back up, you know. But obviously, you know, you live, you learn. So yeah, they're gonna push turret. Yep, come back to lane. Now, this is something where, you know, people talk about roaming as a support, and it's good to do. But you know, yeah, Bard is good at it, but every support can and should roam when applicable. You know, I haven't been looking at the map too much. I've been trying to focus on like lane stuff, but right now, if you pinged this Jarvan to come down, I guarantee this team was going to chase him a little bit. If you had been coming down like this way, you could have been at blue buff and heading towards Jarvan to help, just as an example. Well, I keep thinking you're blue side. Oh my gosh, I'm confusing myself. Okay, yeah, but you still could have come down to kill this Jarvan, because he's going to try to go in on Teemo either way. He doesn't see Yasuo. Like, Teemo doesn't see Yasuo right now. If he did, he would be trying to leave. He would be trying to get under turret and recall. He'd be trying to go top. Because right now, if he tries to stay here, like, I don't know what the... See, Teemo needs to be out of there. He's staying under turret to die. So, but you could have been there to help Teemo. You could have been there to assist that. You know, paying attention like that, Yasuo was really aggro.
I mean, he was also in, like, the Teemo could see him, so...
Well, should have been able to, but obviously he wasn't reacting to it. So, you know, the jungle shows up, but not much you could have done. If you had been there earlier, if you had been there when you were walking the lane and noticed that Yasuo was coming behind the turret, you could have showed up to try to assist. Maybe you could have saved Teemo. That's just learning to, like, look at the map.
Maybe.
Like, you know, figure out what you're doing. Also, you know, like, you can tell, like, oh, my Sivir's, you know, doing pretty well. You know, winning in CS, pretty even overall in gold. You know, and the lane was shoved up to your tower, so you could get back before it really left. So you wouldn't have lost too much in terms of, like, she wouldn't be in much danger if she's under her turret. That's the main thing. That's like, you don't want to roam unless your AD carry's under their tower. Unless it's like a free kill or something. But for the most part, it's safer to do it otherwise. Okay, this here. Okay, that was. Okay, I gotta go over this. This was. The big mistake there is you needed to ult that Jhin. As soon as that Sivir got stunned, you step forward and try to ult through both of them. Right here. Okay, so we're gonna slow this down. Okay.
I saw both of them. I thought
you're walking this way. You need to walk down. Because what's gonna happen is they're both gonna go this way to try to get her because she's low. You walk down and you're gonna ult through them. You're gonna throw your ult right there, just right like that.
Yeah.
So what you do, what I see you do is you try to ult the Bard or the Brand to stop him. Brand's already burned his full combo. Brand's burned everything. There's not much else he can do. You need to stop this Jhin ult as soon as this happens. You should actually be right between her and the Jhin right now, because you need to face tank that first one and ult through both of them to stop it. Instead, that's not helping. Brand already used everything. There's nothing he can do here. I feel bad. The Sivir. She's dead. She's so dead. Yeah. There's the Brand ult. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that was... Honestly, you probably could have killed the Brand and maybe turned on Jhin and actually gotten both of them, but instead they get a kill and you both die. I mean, you got the Brand, which is good because he overcommitted.
And then Nunu comes in but doesn't kill off the Jhin.
Should, though.
I don't think so. I think Jhin gets away.
Okay, yeah. We're relying on that Nunu. Honestly, that should have been a good fight for you guys. You should have killed Brand and gotten away 1-0. But you know, that was just improper use of the ult, honestly. Everything else there was kind of okay. You just didn't step forward to ult both of them. You just went straight for Brand. And that was after he used all of his main abilities. The only ability he had left was ult. So, like, he's not a threat unless he ults. He has nothing else to throw at her. CCing him doesn't change anything. So, you know, that's all I can say about that one. But that was kind of a big thing. That's the reason you both died there. Obviously, she took a lot of damage, but a lot of it could have been avoided. Also, for future notice, don't ward here, ward there, or better yet, ward all the way up here, or there. And the reason is because the more advanced notice you get, have you ever seen people like put regular vision wards like right over here?
Yeah.
Because if there's someone's coming down river to gank you, this gives you an extra 3 or 4 seconds compared to this ward of vision before you can, when you can see them, knowing they're coming, which gives you an extra 3 or 4 seconds to back up. So that's another thing with like learning where to ward is almost as important as using wards to begin with. So that makes sense because of course the dragon's coming
up there.
Yeah, I would have actually put the ward inside. So this is something you'll notice like pro players do. They put the ward right here. Because if they try, because people will control ward right here to sweep the dragon, and that'll catch. This won't. This isn't a corner. That wall goes like this. So if you put it here, that control ward right outside the dragon pit could catch a ward here, could catch a ward there, could catch a ward here, but it's not going to catch that.
Sometimes it feels finicky as well. Some of the control wards.
Yeah,
where they actually see and don't see.
Learning to use it, yeah, that's just abusing the way vision works. But it's super good to do and just practice. Obviously, Jarvan's coming down. Your Sivir is kind of fucked. Yeah, no, the Sivir's fucked. You should have just left. As soon as she was caught in that snare, you just needed to back up. Yeah, you're getting punished for that. Oh, stopwatch, but you're still dead.
I stopwatch here under turret, and he takes 2 shots.
So, well, here's the main thing. So right here, right, you're like standing here, like okay, Start walking back. You should be with Sivir right now. That ward, it's good, but it's not all that useful. And then you see Jarvan here. You just need to leave. Sivir's already dead. There's no helping her, because if you go to
pinging.
Well, no, pinging isn't going to do anything. Here's the thing: if you go to turret, Jarvan's going to turn on her. You can't save her. She's already dead. Right? You walking back like this to try to delay him, you know, you end up wasting flash, and then you end up staying here to try to help her, and then you die because of it. You just needed to get out. She was dead. There was nothing you could do to save that. She was already dead. By trying to stay to help, you got punished for it too.
Yeah.
So that's what that was. Like, honestly, trying to
feels bad about that.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because you're like, you couldn't do anything to help her, but by trying to help her,
like sucky that the Jarvan came in, went straight into turret and then didn't die after Izoni's and still stayed around.
Yeah, well, trying to help her is what got you killed, though. Honestly, she was already dead. You should have looked at it like, oh, she's fucked, and then just like, fuck this shit, I'm out, and just like peaced out. There's nothing you could have done there. I no idea what is. Okay.
Like I went down for the Teemo.
Okay.
The Teemo
got the Jarvan
and died to the.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, he died to the Jarvan. Sorry, the brand.
Yeah. The better question is, why is your top laner down there? I don't know. Because wait, no, that's a Teemo mid. Hold up, is that Teemo mid? Oh, that's you have a Xerath top. Wait, did Xerath and Teemo lane swap, or
no? They were like that from the beginning.
That's weird. No, like, were they like opposite roles in champ select, and they just did it for like matchups or something? Because that just seems weird.
No. Okay. They did that.
Well, that's just irons being irons. Okay. So right here, this isn't bad. Okay, that's exactly what you wanted to do. That was good. Hold on.
No, I ulti this guy.
No, here, look. So watch. You go here. This is the right thing to do. This was actually good. Because you're trying to cut off Brand, so Brand can't escape, right? That's good. As soon as you did this, because obviously you don't need to be in range of Sivir. He just used his abilities. So now you can stop, and you're like, okay, he ults, and you immediately stop him. You're like, no, right? Because he could have killed Sivir if you didn't stop him with your ult. That was a good play. You step forward to block it. You ulted him to cancel his, right? Brand wasn't going to do anything. He just used his abilities. And now here, you need to stay with your AD carry. She's still going to kill him just because of the range on that Q, but you need to just stay down here. Just in case.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's safer to stay down here. After you could have gone up to ward or something, but she's dead. Or she should be. This Jarvan might actually be garbage. Oh, okay.
I think we both died.
I was going to say, what? If that Sivir got away, that just meant Jarvan was bad.
Oh, the Teemo comes in or leaves.
I mean, Nunu's coming too. Right now, my hope would be that Nunu snowballs into this Brand. Yeah, okay. Nunu's doing what he's supposed to do here. You want to follow him. If you can, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think I used, like...
Nice. Okay, that was good.
That
was good. That was unlucky because Nunu kind of took too much turret damage, but you got the kill on Brand. That was actually a good play. He just dove a little bit too far and didn't trust the range damage you had. That you and Teemo both would have killed him. And so he dove under turret and took an extra shot. That's... People do that. That's just irons being irons.
Yeah.
And this was greed. There was... You should have just recalled. Once you won that fight, you should have just recalled. You staying here is the reason you died. So I don't feel like I need to actually go into that any further. That's just greed.
Yeah, I already know.
So
it's
So overall, it's not bad. Like it's a lot of small fixes, and that's mostly what mechanics are. It's just realizing what you're doing wrong and how you can improve upon it.
A lot of the time, I knew what I was doing was wrong.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I was like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
Have you ever heard of the stream of consciousness exercise?
Nope.
Okay, seen how like a lot of streamers will sit there and like talk everything out that they're thinking in their head as they do it? Even if you don't stream. If you want to stream and use that as a practice, do it. But just do it. Just talk everything out just out loud, quietly, but out loud in your head. Because what you'll do is, if you think something really stupid, like maybe I should stay here and get this minion, you'll be like, that's bad idea. Because the more you talk stuff out, when you hear it said out loud, you're like, that sounds stupid. If it sounds stupid, don't do it. But it doesn't sound stupid in your head. You're like, I kind of want this minion, you know? But if you say, like, I should, I'm going to stay here and get this minion, and you think, you second think it a little bit more, right? You give yourself a better time to process if you just talk your thoughts out loud. And anytime you say something that sounds kind of stupid, kind of greedy, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't, but I'll do it anyway, just don't do it. Being aware of what you're doing is a lot more than you realize. Like, you've heard autopiloting, where people just kind of play on autopilot. The best way you can get off autopilot is just say everything out loud, because it forces you to think about what you're thinking, what you're doing, right? Because you have to narrate what you're doing, which causes you to focus and think about it.
Have they given, just a question, have they given Karma the cooldown reduction thing that was on this, what was it, or W or E? They were playing the ad?
PBE?
Like they were playing it, they haven't done the PBE stuff yet, right?
I don't know if that went in this patch. I don't think it did. I read the patch notes. I don't remember that. It might have.
Yeah.
I'd have to check. Like, I'm looking forward to the Conqueror changes, that if they go in next patch, it's going to be busted. But they're basically mixing Conqueror with Fleet Footwork, and then at max stacks, it becomes Conqueror with Lifesteal. Because someone thought that was a good idea. Okay, so, yeah. Now, the other thing is, like, obviously just focus on your own gameplay.
He misses all
I'm going to say I don't know why you used ult there immediately. Like, looking at it just from my perspective, this is good. You know, they get the kill. Sivir doesn't die. Okay, right here. First off, you had time to get a power cord. You should have a power cord. This other thing you should do, as you walk to lane, charge up your ability. Because power cord, every third spell, right? Charge up your thing. Because when you come to lane, you can get the empowered Q to get bonus damage, whatever, right? And you should have enough mana regen by now. So you should have that charged. And what you should have been able to do is walk up, and you didn't need that ult. You could have power cord E'd him to slow him, and then stepped this way, right? Like down towards him. Because he's gonna hit you with that, and he's kind of gonna try to hit you with something else, like a W if he has it. Or
I saw the Nunu coming down, back down, and I also saw the Teemo. Usually when the Nunu's snowball goes off cooldown, usually he'll start using it again.
Yeah.
They go back off.
Well, the reason I say that is because if you slowed him, it would give Nunu time to get that snowball rolling, and then as he backed up, if he tried to flash away, you can flash ult him then to guarantee the Nunu snowball, instead of just relying on him to get there. Because if he starts snowballing in, then you're like, okay, yeah, I can help. But if he doesn't snowball in, then you can just back up without wasting your ult, right? That's a little bit of a patience thing, just being like, using the slow and trying to wait for your teammates. Because if you, it's one of those things, same with like Bard ult, Pantheon ult, you could have a perfectly fine ult, but if your team doesn't follow up, it doesn't do you any good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously, I don't know what Nunu's doing. He's greeting for that. He's way under turret. He's dead.
Yeah, and I go up top to help the...
Yeah, following Teemo here isn't a bad idea, just because of how close to dead Jarvan is. Like, you get the assist. That's a free assist, right? So that's not a bad thing. Staying here, I mean, Sivir's dead.
Back after being...
Yeah, she greeted. Sivir's dead. There's not much you could do. Shove out. I would actually say shove out this lane. Try to help like Teemo shove out. Like, don't last hit, but just lower the minions and shove out the lane to try to hit that turret. When Yasuo showed up, you could back, but you would get the XP for the minions dying, and you could have possibly shoved them in the lane if Yasuo didn't show up. And then heading back here, I would have recalled. You were at half HP. You weren't actually gonna like change much. He might have gotten turret, but he's gonna get turret soon anyway. Yeah, see. Like, you coming down didn't really change much. You just ended up trading with him. He's gonna back because he's low. If he's smart,
I actually don't know if he backed.
Well, okay, this is him making mistakes. If you're relying on the enemy team to be stupid, you're not playing optimally.
I mean, this is This is, what's it called?
It's iron. It's iron. I get that. The people are going to be stupid, but people will get better as you climb, and that's why you want to play to, like, punish mistakes and play your best instead of relying on the enemy to be stupid. Okay. That was unlucky. You didn't need to be there. You honestly should have just gone back to help Sivir. Chasing into that wasn't really going to get you anything. So here, the goal here, get that turret, and then you want to go mid. Okay, you help that. I don't know why Sivir's going in. You can follow that up.
I think she just wanted the turret.
Yeah, but I'm wondering why she ulted after the brand after that point. You know, that seems silly to me. Okay, here's something you could do. There, you actually have an advantage. As long as you have another heal for that Sivir, you could have won that fight between those two. You have Ignite and you have your ult. As long as you can...
Did you get any AoE there? Like the one that just appeared on the screen?
That was Xerath. That was Xerath's ult.
Yeah, I didn't realize what that was.
Yeah. I mean, you were out of range of it, so you were fine.
Yeah. I mean, that was on my team, right? I think.
Yeah, Xerath's your team. I get confused because it's a red team, blue team, but I have on my game I'm always on blue team. It like color swaps it for me because I get confused otherwise. So I always have it set to blue team for me. So that's why I got confused a few times early on. But we're watching you go in, so you're gonna step forward. Okay, right here. Okay, this is something to think about. This is actually, I would call it a pretty big mistake in terms of this team fight. So you step up. We're going to speed it up for a second until you get to the team fight. Okay, right here. Boom. Okay, what's going on right now? I want you to think about what's happening. And
we're going after the Yasuo.
Okay, what should you do right here?
Probably kill the Yasuo.
You should ult the Yasuo. Do you know why? Brand just used his ultimate. He just threw his ultimate into this group. You can see it bouncing right here.
Yeah.
Brand just used his rotation. There is nothing he can do. You can step forward and ignite him, but ult the Yasuo. Yasuo is going to be a threat. Yasuo is going to land and kill this Xerath if he's smart. If he does it right, yep, there you go. And you go for the brand. This Yasuo just killed Xerath. He just killed Teemo. And you didn't even kill Brand. And now he's... yeah. You see? Yasuo would have still died.
Killed Yasuo.
But Yasuo got 2 kills off of that. You could have stopped him and still ignite Q'd that Brand. But if you ulted the Yasuo, he would have died without killing Xerath. So that's just picking... that's called priority. That's just making sure you're, you know, choosing the right targets. And as support, that's extremely important. You have to know who does damage and who's the actual threat. Because your...
J4 comes after you?
Yeah, I don't know. Your goal as support is mitigation.
And then I run back because I see the new fireball, and then I think he stuns and kills him.
So right here, you should have been backing up. When that Yasuo fight was over, you should have just left. Well, there was no reason to be here. So, I mean, that was the mistake you made. You should have left as soon as that Yasuo fight was over. You just peace out. Go recall, spend the gold you probably had. I mean, you got... let's see, how much gold did you have? Oh... where's the gold chart on here? Hold up. Interface. Hotkeys. Interface. Heck is the gold? Okay. Ah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, so look at this. You have 1,200 gold. What? There's no reason for you to be here right now. You have over $1,000. You could easily start purchasing something else. Instead, you decide to stay. Right? That turret's already gone. Rift Herald's like already taken the turret. Staying here was greeting. You should have left. So obviously, that's the mistake there. Okay, we'll move on. I don't want to beat a dead horse.
Yeah, that's what you've been doing the entire time.
I don't mean to do it. Like I want to hit points home, but beating a dead horse kind of just...
yeah. Like, I know when I've done something really bad.
So let's see if they're taking.
I think some of the problems I have is like I think like if a champion's flawless, they won't back immediately, but most of the time it seems like the people back immediately after some things. Also, like they got 3 red like matching drakes in a row.
Yeah,
off RNG. So
well, here's the thing. That play is what causes this play. Because if you had recalled, Nunu wouldn't have come to you, and you guys could have immediately come to get Dragon.
Yeah.
And that's just like how snowballing is. Like when one mistake causes other mistakes to happen or other problems. Alright, we'll kind of skip forward. This is kind of where the game becomes just like playing team fights, right? And the main thing I'll just be saying is just positioning and ultimates, which is all stuff you kind of learn more through experience. Nunu goes ham. We're going to slow this down.
Like I speed him up so his snowball goes faster.
Obviously not a whole lot going on right now. It's just that wiggle, that dance before a team fight. Getting a good... Okay, right here.
Ulti's way early.
I want to see... Okay, so right there, your ult is like going to come off cooldown in a second on that fight. Obviously, it keeps going when you're in that. You're at 14 seconds. Okay. What you should be doing right now, you don't have flash, don't have ignite. Okay, when he starts going forward right here, you need to be getting in position, because what you want to do here is you want to get an ult that captures both Yasuo and Jhin. That's your goal right now. Or all 3 of them. Either these 2, because they're the highest damage, or as many people as possible. Right? You standing back here isn't doing anything. So as soon as Yasuo left the fight this direction, you move down here, because you can threaten a 3-man stun. Your ult just came off cooldown. Right? You should be looking at that being like, okay, I can try to threaten that. Instead, you back up, and then and then you kind of lose that opportunity. So we'll watch this fight play out. So, especially as someone who like has like a big team fight ultimate, learning how to use the ultimate's like your biggest job past like 25 minutes, or even like 15 minutes. Once laning phase ends, your biggest job is just getting those big ultimates properly. So... Because if you can do that, you should be able to make everything else work. Your team should be able to do it, you know. If 3 people are, like, stunned, like, if you land a Moo Moo ult, if you land a Malphite ult, you know, it doesn't matter how dumb you are past that. In Bronze and Silver, especially Iron, you know, you get a good 3-man ult while your whole team's there, they're gonna do stuff. Like, you know.
I find Sona's a lot smaller than Bard's.
It is.
Like,
it is. It's that whole go button theory again, though. Just knowing, like, hey, if I press this button, everyone's gonna just jump them, you know?
I mean, they should know that if you hit, like, 4 people with the Bard ult, that you should go in and jump them.
They'll especially know that if you go in with the Sona ult like that, right? Like, and that's just knowing it properly.
But I mean...
But, you know.
Some people should know.
Yeah. I mean, anyway. So, at this point... The main difference, the main thing you gotta keep, like, I look at right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, like, you guys have already lost pressure. Right? You guys have 2 turrets.
Yep.
They have all 3. They have all the drags so far, right? Yeah, you guys don't have a drag. So right now, your goal is to turtle. Either you have to turtle, or they're just gonna keep punishing you guys. Also, looking at their team comp, they have a lot of, like, AoE. They have Karthus ult, you know, Jarvan ult could trap you into Brand ults, you know. So there's a lot they can do to just chain you guys. So you either have to wait for ults to go down to fight them, especially because you have, like, Teemo and stuff, right? There's not a whole lot you're going to want to fight. So you have to play map here. And then that's, you know, this is the game, it's just going to go downhill. If Teemo doesn't properly split push and you guys don't get good team fights where, like, they burn abilities and stuff or catch them out before you can get, a 5v5, because you're going to lose 5v5s. If you guys were on even footing
I would also like to point out that not many of our team actually has any CC at all. The only people that do is Xerath and me, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, Nuno has a little bit, but that's not really much.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much the only me and Xerath doesn't really hit CC that well at all this game, I don't think.
So
it's like
that's where you have to play
me
map
for the entire engage, and me going and engaging as a squishy champ isn't the best thing.
Where you could play disengage though, because they're gonna want to go in on you guys.
Yeah.
If you wait for the right moment to get that 3-man ult, you can counter engage. But of course, there's right now it's just you guys are at a deficit. You guys are behind, and if you guys were even, you would still have trouble winning a 5v5. So that's what you should be looking at right now. Like, what's our, you gotta ask what's the win condition. Like, what do we need to do to put ourselves in a good position?
They need to be stupid at this point. Like,
no, you need to catch them out. It's not even about them being stupid. Right now, this is where you should get vision. Your entire jungle should be a freaking Christmas tree right now. And this is where, I don't know if you buy it very often. You need, Sweeper's good, but you should get the blue ward. Because those wards don't expire.
I've been told conflicting info from streamers.
Okay,
where you should get blue ward or control ward.
Okay, so Sweeper versus blue ward. Here's the thing. Sweeper's aggressive, blue ward's passive. If you're winning, Sweeper's better. You can control vision, you can take away vision. If you're losing, blue ward is safer because you can sit back, you have a longer ward distance, the wards don't expire, so you can safely Christmas tree your whole jungle and at least be able to catch people off. You see somebody walking alone through your jungle, it's safer to get them because you see everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're behind, your best bet's to try to get picks. Your best bet's to try to pick people off and not team fight, especially when they have more CC than you. You're not going to win a fight, right? And it is, of course, situational. If you're winning, yeah, red is a lot better. This is, again, where it comes into what game you're playing and how good you're doing. I would say right now, you get those blue wards, you get a control ward out, you Christmas tree this jungle. You need your entire half of the map lit up as best as possible. And as a support, yeah, you have 4 wards. You have the 3 main wards off your trinket or your support item. You have a control ward, but then those blue wards, those are the ones that should be further back in your jungle. Should be here, should be here, should be here, right? Because those ones don't expire, should be here. So if they try to walk into your jungle, you can see it coming. You have a chance to catch them out. Hey, there's only one person here. Hey, they have 3 people at our red buff. You can look at that and see that stuff easier, right? And that's just being able to know that. And one of those funny things is, people don't like listening to pings, but if you spam ping enough on something that's kind of like, oh, there's just one person at our red buff, you just spam ping it enough and just keep going towards it. Don't start the fight until someone shows up, but just spam ping it. People get frustrated to just do it. It's like, that's one of the funny things about Iron and Bronze. Someone that's just annoying with pings, if they have the right calls, people listen to it, regardless of how much they hate it. If you didn't get muted, you spam ping enough, somebody's going to follow the order. Just because they're tired of hearing you ping, right? Like, I see this in, even in Silver and Gold, where someone spam pings the jungler, and the jungler ganks, and I'm like, that was a bad gank. They're like, yeah, but he was asking for help. I don't care if he was asking for help. Just mute the fucker. Like, he's not gonna. Obviously, your 0-3 top laner isn't gonna use the help, but people do it anyway. And okay. So that was the exact opposite. This time you got caught. So we'll watch this happen, but obviously there is no teammates near you. Sivir's kind of down here, but she's not gonna be able to help you. That was just catch. And they're able to push a turret off of that. You as the main CC,
what's the Nunu doing that time? Was he just sitting in that bush the entire time?
He was trying to get a good snowball, I think. But anyway, so from this point, I think the game's pretty much, somebody would have to throw from this point. So obviously, you guys are just probably going to get snowballed onto the game.
And also, we chased things that we shouldn't have chased, like that there shouldn't have been chased.
So it looks like you guys had one decent team fight. You turned around, and then you got a turret, and then the rest of the game they baroned, and then they just pushed to end. Yeah. So that's about what I would expect. So I don't know. So I'm gonna write down a couple things for you to work on. This exit game. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to that note document. I think that's enough general stuff. The main stuff to work on for now. Goals to work on. I'm going to give you just a couple small overall things to work on. Biggest one is just we'll split it into 2 categories, like lane and late, because those are the kind of different phases of the game, because your role changes through those, especially as a Sona. In lane, your goal right now is I want to say just ult. Like the main thing that you could have done there is just reading the fight better. Just focus ADC and write it like this. Focus ADC. You know, look at the sphere of influence. You know, sphere of influence. Sphere of influence. A lot of the time, and this comes down to step forward. You know, step forward. Because I understand you're squishy as a Sona, but you're never going to learn what your limits are if you don't push them. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
I mean, I push a lot, but then
here's the thing. So, what is the best way to learn the limit of something in League?
Oh, lose a lot.
Yes, but specifically, like, if I want to ask how far can you go in, like, this matchup without dying? What's the best way to figure that out?
Playing a lot.
The most efficient way to figure something out like that, especially in lane matchups, is like if you're playing Sona and you're playing against a brand Jhin, like you wear that game. The way you figure out exactly how aggressive you can be is you go as ham as possible. You're in low elo. Not much is gonna it's gonna take a while to climb. But you just go in. If you die, you were too aggressive. Tone it back just a bit. And you want to tone it until you're as aggressive as you can be without dying. You want to stay within. You want to kill the ADC first, unless it's something like I don't know, Zyra or something where they're gonna kill you both instantly. You know, once Brand burned his abilities, and that's watch cooldowns is kind of the big part of that. But once Brand burned his abilities, you were still attacking Brand. So once the support burned the abilities, just kill the AD carry. The support can't do anything if they don't have abilities. And that's just watching that sphere of influence. You want to, if they aren't able to threaten you, punish them. That's all. That's the two big things I saw in lane. You were trying to go on the Brand after he used his abilities, and you were kind of like stepping away from the AD carry, but you were staying for too far back. When they didn't have abilities, you should just step forward. Attack them. If you die practicing, that means you were too aggressive. Tone it back and try again. Right?
Beating a horse, I get it.
I'm trying. Yeah, a lot of it is just practice. I try not to beat the dead horse, but I want to kind of get things ingrained.
And you're going to beat it again here.
Yeah. Well, because I'm going to send you this text document, and then next time we're gonna go over it, see how much better you've done at those. We'll look at another game if you want to come back for more coaching. So the late game. Ult priority. That's the main thing. And yeah, I think you get what I mean. Just target and amount. Okay. Target, timing, and number of enemy. Okay. And that's the main things. I think if you could do that, if you just work on that stuff, you should find just lane phase goes smoother, and late game you just have more impact. Because I feel like right there, did you feel like you kind of had impact, but not as much as you wish you could? Because that's kind of how it looked to me. Like you had impact, but you felt like you could.
I prefer Bard.
Yeah, I mean, again,
Bard just feels like has bigger impact if the team knows how to work around it. If the team doesn't know how to work around it, it just feels.
People in Iron are not going to know how to work around a Bard. That's kind of what it comes down to. Yeah, you can play Bard, practice, keep your champ pool small as possible, focus as much as you can, like specialize by focus, and just work on that stuff. We'll next time if you want to get coaching again, if you come back, we'll check in, see how you did on those goals, see if we need to set new goals or if we need to find a new way to set the goals, or new ways to deal with the stuff, right? You got any other questions or anything you want me to go over?
Just look at one of my actual good games.
Well, the thing is, obviously, not every game is a good game, but the best.
The last game actually was pretty bad in the beginning.
Yeah. So there you go. I sent you the file.
I don't actually need it. I can just save. copy and make one myself.
True. I already got a copy in the other thing. So, yeah. I think that's about it. You don't have any questions or anything?
Not really.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I already knew what I did wrong after I did it, so...
Yeah, a lot of the times looking over it again, like even... You could always go back over your own replays. You could go back to your games and just look at it and, like, you know, ask yourself the same questions. And you'd probably come to a lot of the same conclusions if you just, you know, think about it. And, you know, stream of consciousness, practice that. Kind of just look at those specific things because those are things I saw you do over. And, you know, practice. Play more. The more you play, the more you'll... The more you play with focus, the more you'll improve. Right? It's not about how many games you play, it's how many games you take seriously. So, well, good luck on your climb. I don't know. I'll probably see you... I don't know. I would say wait at least a week or two before you try another coaching session. You know, check in. You probably should be able to get at least bronze 3. How many games a day do you typically get to play?
I don't know.
Okay, how many games on average would you say you get a week? Yeah,
not many.
Not many. Okay, yeah, climbing will be
only
slower.
Started like 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, climbing will be slower then for sure. But you know, just try to keep consistency. The longer you step away from the game, obviously the rustier you get. But I think I'll end it there. If you guys are watching on YouTube, thank you for stopping by. You guys have a nice night. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. If you guys have any stuff to add on, any advice you'd like to change if you're higher elo, you know, plats, diamonds that watch my videos, I don't know why you would. If you guys are like higher elo and you have some advice to share or anything, you guys go ahead and put it in the comments, and I'll try to forward as much of it as I can to him. But we'll see you guys later. You know, hit that subscribe, it helps out the channel. Definitely follow us on Twitch, and I will see you guys in the next video.